What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Brick Talk number 29. As you can see, we have a special guest, Brick Domain.
I'm here. Let's do it. Some hot takes. I don't know if that's a good intro.
No, that's it. That's it. That's great.
To say.
Let's hear it, Mr. Kevin. I hope you brought some good homework today. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you do your homework, and it's good. The show is better when you do, but sometimes you don't do your homework.
All right, guys. So this is hilarious, but my first hot take is about the Mos Espa Podrace Diorama. Retiring at the end of this year. Came out in May of 24. So a little more than a year and a half shelf life. $80 for 718 pieces. Way overpriced. Not that great of a set. Tons of thumbs downs from DG. Can you guys guess what my hot take is?
You're high on it?
I'm high on it. It's going to be a good investment. Hold on. Let me talk through it. We're going to be able to get this set for $40 somewhere, sometime. At least 50% off.
I like to think of my discounting as like a 7-layer cake. Like the more layers I can get on there of discount, credit card, sales tax exempt, discounted gift cards, getting a GWP, double VIP points, retailer promo, rebates. It's like a delicious cake of discounts. Why do you think this set will succeed?
All right, so check this out. You got the Death Star Trench Run. DG's dying over there. I love it.
Go on.
$70. I picked up mine for equivalent of $36. This set is currently suppressed on Amazon because it's still available at Barnes & Noble and other places. Let's go to the next one. Dagobah Jedi Training. $90. I picked mine up for average $55. I wish I could have done better. I think I could have had I been patient. Still suppressed on Amazon. These ones have not had a chance to grow in value yet. Now let's look at the Walmart exclusive, the trash compactor. It's sold out back at the end of 23. I know it's been in and out of stock a little bit at Walmart. The trend line is upwards. I bought mine at $59. So now going back to each of these, I bought this one at $36. On eBay, I could get the equivalent of $40.
After fees, 40?
After fees, $40.
What a waste of time and space.
I bought at $55. After fees, I'm at $58. And then the trash compactor, after fees, I bought at $59. I'm at $65. So now let's come back to this one. Nobody wants this set. Nobody wants to invest in it. But if we go to Amazon, sales velocity is 1,000. That's the same as boarding Tantive 4, for example. It's the same as the Dark Falcon, for example. Demand isn't terrible on this set. Going to the Camel 3X chart, we've seen good discounts already. During the holidays, it did have a little pop. I'm sure the sales volume wasn't that high, but there's a little something there. Everybody hates this set for investing, which means the discounts are going to be there and nobody's going to have it on the secondary market.
But I have to do a little reframing of your demand data. So if you go back to the camel chart, you can see within the past month, it was $48.99, 40% off. And that's why it's selling 1,000 units a month right now. The demand chart on Keep is broken, so we can't see what it was selling before it hit that big sale. But I would imagine it was like maybe 500-600, who knows? I think the demand isn't quite as strong when compared to boarding the Tantive 4. But I think you have a great point. I think everyone's sleeping on it. It's possible. It could really do well if it goes out of stock on time.
And that's the big variable, is the zombie stock.
Keeping my ear to the ground in the Lego investing community, I know that the Dagobah and the Death Star Trench Run dioramas were both trickling in on Amazon at the end of their shelf lives. I think it was $200 or $300 a month at the end. There's just no demand in the market for these sets at any price. There's no demand. What's iconic throughout the various eras and years of Lego Star Wars are exclusive minifigures and awesome play sets, and maybe like UCS sets. You can throw in like some special classes of UCS or maybe microfighters, but we don't need 7 adult-oriented sub-themes. It's all just flavorless soup Lego Star Wars, and I won't stand for it.
Yeah, well, so we didn't discuss the 2 sets that retired last year, the Emperor's Throne Room diorama and Endor Speeder Chase. Both are still in stock at Walmart right now, so it's kind of a similar situation. But if you look on Amazon for Emperor Throne Room diorama, there's only like 13 sellers, and if it goes out of stock at Walmart and it gets unsuppressed on Amazon, like that's going to be 130 plus, right? Like very soon.
And the Mos Espa Podrace is so bad, at the equivalent time in the future, it's going to have 4 sellers on Amazon.
That would be crazy.
You have layers in the back. I can see your desktop.
Don't talk about my desktop. Thank you. Now you can't see anything.
That was so inappropriate, Kevin. Never talk about a man's desktop.
Never point out a desktop. Interestingly here, if we search for the dioramas on Walmart, the Mos Espa Podrace comes up, then we get a bunch of unrelated sets. Walmart does not want to recommend you some retired dioramas. I'm just an innocent customer looking for some dioramas on Walmart, and I can't find them. I have to scroll all the way down, where I'll see this Death Star trash compactor selling for what, 10% over MSRP? The Trench Run going for MSRP? The Dagobah diorama going for what, 15 or 20% from MSRP? 15 sellers is actually quite a lot for Walmart. Looking here at the trench run, we have 13 sellers already and 16 sellers on your trash compactor. So probably these are folks who have picked it up in store on $45 or $30 clearance, which all these dioramas hit, and then flipping it right back to Walmart for barely over MSRP. That's not my kind of Lego investment. So I just want to show these Walmart prices because I do sell on Walmart now. I was part of the wave of gatings on Amazon for Lego brand. So yeah, at the moment, I'm mainly selling on Walmart and eBay only. There was a point to this, which eludes me at the moment.
I think your point was that it doesn't really matter what platform you're on because you don't have many Lego sets after the fire.
Oh my God.
Whoa! I've been roasted. I don't have a lighter handy. I was going to get a lighter and roast you every time you... But then I would just be damaging my professional equipment.
Yeah, you don't want to risk another incident.
Wow, I'm catching bullets.
We took all the lighters out of his house for safety caution.
Wow, man. It wasn't me.
That's brutal. So sorry. Kevin started it. I just, I couldn't help myself.
You followed suit. Yeah, no, it's cool. I'm a punching bag.
It's really turned. Kevin used to be the big punching bag. So, this is like a little karma.
I do watch our episodes because I actually collect data from our episodes based on what David says.
That was one question I had was when you're talking about I watch all the videos, I was like, so that's so meta. Do you watch our videos?
I do, but
do you watch your own videos?
Boosting the numbers.
It's a self-licking ice cream cone at this point.
My hot take is we don't need more UCS sets. Cut them down to one release per year, the way it was in the good old days, and instead use that extra multi-$100 slot on Master Builder Series sets. We need scenes like the Geonosis Arena, the Battle of Kashyyyk, Felucia. There's so many amazing environments, planets, iconic scenes. They could actually do a proper Yavin temple if they wanted to at $300 with 20 minifigures. Naboo, Coruscant Jedi Temple. I could go on. So both as Lego investors and as fans, we need more sets like that Cantina and like the Betrayal at Cloud City. Even UCS Hoth, I know that was overpriced and derided for being inaccurate when it came out. In hindsight, pretty beloved set and now goes, I think, for $500 to $600. Original MSRP $250. So that's pretty much it. How spicy do you think this take is, guys?
I think it is super mild. I 100% agree.
Well, so I need clarification. So is the hot take that we need these, or is the hot take that Lego's going to do this?
We need these, and Lego should do it, and they're not going to, and that's outrageous. And that's the take.
I rate it mild because, of course, we need these. I don't know how much Lego's going to be doing that. They really like their UCSs right now, but yes, we need more Master Builder Series sets.
And they're not going to do it.
That's a hot take. And if you said that they are going to do it, it's a hot take because there's arguments on both sides, but the consumer, the fans, we want it.
I think the norm is that they're not making them, so it's not a hot take to say they're not going to do them, but it's a hot take to say they are going to do them because there's no precedent that they are doing them.
My hot take is I need them to do it, and so do many others, and it's very obvious, and they're not doing it. And therefore, shame on Lego.
My hot take is that BrickEconomy should never be used. Even using the site for like descriptions about the sets shows like newer investors that, oh, maybe this site is like reputable. It gives you these like projections of price and then minifigure values, all of which are just inaccurate. The minifigure values aren't accurate. The retirement dates are not accurate. The models used to predict the set's price and retirement is out of nothing. Like every set's going to increase by 10%. That's not how mini sets even go up. So I just would never use it. What I would do is I'd use BrickTap or Brick Fanatics for retirement lists. I go to BrickSet for any reputable Lego information because BrickSet gets all the information from Lego. And then for minifigure values, go to BrickLink because it's an actual marketplace where they sell the minifigures and they tell you the last 6 months average of sales for each minifigure. And those are factual pieces of information rather than going to a site that tries to make it easier for you, but all the information is wrong and you're going to be making the wrong assumptions.
I have found that the minifig values are a little more accurate on BrickEconomy. They're roughly correct. I do believe BrickSet scrapes their price info from BrickLink. So
yes, it's just a little behind, but yes, they're roughly accurate as well.
Oh, so it trails the live sales data.
It does.
Interesting. Do we know by how much or what the...
So for sets that have retired and the minifigure value doesn't change much over time, I notice the price is like within cents accurate because it doesn't change often. But for sets that are currently available, the price could vary like maybe $1 or so because the price is changing more often.
I see. So we can say usually BrickSet would be accurate to BrickLink within plus or minus $1.
Yeah, I use BrickSet honestly, because it's just so much easier. And I've checked them a bunch of times to make sure that it's definitely tracking BrickLink. It's just maybe a week or two behind.
Gotcha. I gave my opinion. Kevin?
This guy's about to defend BrickEconomy.
Oh, no.
I can see it in his face.
Kevin's gone to the dark side.
Hold on. Let me see.
I'm just going to admire Brian's actual inventory that he actually has in his actual warehouse.
I
You
know.
don't have to burn yourself.
So are those Stormtrooper mechs back there?
Yeah, Stormtrooper mechs, Lloyd's Elemental mech,
Oh, Ninjago.
Pink Parrot, Slushy Van. Up here is the Spider-Man versus Doc Ock set that I talked about in our first episode.
Great
I think
set.
that's doing very nicely. Sword Outpost that won't go out of stock from Amazon. Oh, the Cars Duplo set from last year.
The car wash one?
Yeah.
How's that one doing?
Well, in Q4 it was going for like 60 and now it's back in stock on Amazon.
Lego cars went nuts as a theme about 12 years ago. So Duplo cars have also, like, it's a kind of a no-brainer.
It was by far my favorite Duplo set that retired last year. Like, the demand was so much higher than the rest.
Yeah, I only had 3. I do like Duplo, but I'm hesitant to go in with dozens or hundreds of units on Duplo because the liquidity in the marketplace is just a lot lower.
So are you noticing Walmart has pretty low Duplo sales?
I actually have not looked because I have not had any Duplo available to sell on Walmart.
Yeah, I mean, since we're on the topic waiting for Kevin, BrickHeads on Walmart, terrible. Like,
Really?
the supply is so high, like people are tanking the price.
I know why.
Yeah.
You don't have to be ungated to hop on most of those because they're not filed for some reason. BrickHeads are not brand Lego. They're brand like Marvel, Disney, whatever.
Interesting. I did not know that.
I noticed before I was ungated into the Lego category, I was able to list like Dark Trooper helmet, I think Pink Parrot, a couple exclusives, but not non-exclusives.
So whoever's making the listings probably aren't categorizing it right, is what it seems, because those are all retailer exclusive sets, not from Walmart.
I believe that would explain it because the Walmart native that they create, those pages always work well, but you need to be ungated to sell as a third party.
Yep, that makes sense. Yeah, it's just I sent in some BrickHeads to Walmart in like December because prices were really high and supply was low. Ever since then, it's like been just through the roof with supply and the prices are just going way down. What my theory was is that like a lot of eBay sellers and people got kicked off Amazon or just like jumping on there and they're like, oh, it's better than eBay, so I'll just like lower the price a little bit and sell them, and then it's a compound effect over and over because it's like 30 sellers on Walmart, as you said, like 15 is high, 30 is like crazy.
Yeah. What's great about Walmart, and it is getting more crowded. I don't know. Do you sell on Walmart, Brian?
Oh, yes. I started selling at Walmart in December when all the regates happened.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, because this group is 3 for 3 on getting gated on Amazon.
But I came back from the dead.
Did you get re-ungated?
Oh, yeah. Didn't I mention it? I only know one other person who this happened to. At the end of December, like December 27th, I got an email from Amazon saying, you've been ungated in Lego.
Without you doing anything?
No, I didn't do a single thing. I just got an email at dinner with my family and I was like, oh my gosh, thank God. And I thought this happened to everyone. And then I asked people in my community and it only happened to one person. I only know one other person from anywhere that it's happened to.
And from what I can tell, I did very small volume, maybe only 15,000 gross sales on Amazon. I got regated. My friend who did 55 gross sales also regated. I know people who have sold 6 figures that have been regated.
And not ungated.
And not let back in.
It's terrible. Like Amazon needs to have some sort of transparency there.
Yeah.
It's just the nature of dealing with them. Like they're such a behemoth that if you want to work with them, they can just do whatever they want and you just have to say yes.
Take this set, for example, full of minifigures. So we're going to talk about a few different things here, but look at this chart. So they're thinking it's going to have a little dip and then jump right up and then just, rise linearly from here on out. Like you said, every set looks basically like this. And then they throw in this shaded blue that shows that it could be plus or minus about, 30% or something. I know that's an exaggeration, but yeah, never use the forecast models.
It's a really cool looking chart. It just sucks that the data is literal nonsense. So it doesn't mean anything.
Because the markets are so variable that you can't really predict each set down to a line. You have to go with groupings and you have to go with ranges and you have to get the great discount. I mean, in a lot of cases, it's all about the buy-in price. I know Brian has mentioned that a lot. It's what you pay going in, and this chart doesn't factor in any of that.
Yeah, if you want to find the actual value of the set, just go to your selling platform. If you sell on eBay, go on eBay, look at recent sold listings, the lowest price available. If you sell on Amazon, look on Amazon, the lowest price sellers, lowest prime sellers, stuff like that. There's going to be a very wide range between eBay and Amazon. And so just focus on where you're going to sell the set, and that's how you'll know what the value is.
That's right. We always keep it real on the podcast. So we look at prices where we're selling because that's actually what our experience will be. And we never try to misrepresent anything as a good or bad investment based on cherry picking picking the charts. There's so many robust different databases of prices you can look at that just take an average or focus on where you in particular sell.
And Brian, although I totally agree with you on the minifig value, I hate that we're poking holes in it because it's so convenient. And admittedly, I do use it every now and then. Hey, check out this value. We'll see for this set that is a $55 retail price. The minifigures are valued at $51. It's about right, but Admiral Thrawn is shown as 14 and Elsbeth is shown as 15. Admiral Thrawn, 14 or $15. Pretty good. But Morgan Elsbeth, $5. So you do have to be careful. Good take, kind of spicy because we're killing a website that we do use every now and then, but you're right.
I think this take is only about as spicy as I can't believe it's not butter, because I can't believe that's the hottest take you brought so far, Kevin. I guess it's a response take to Brian's take.
Yeah.
So all of our takes have been mild so far, is that correct?
No, mine was spicy.
Well, that's right. It was.
The diorama was stupid spicy.
All right, so my second hot take, guys, is that Lego actually kind of likes us investors. I know they will never admit it, and my justification, my theory is they are increasing prices. I think you guys heard that the summer wave, pretty much every set is getting a price increase. Is it because they just need to make more money? Of course, all companies want to make as much money as they can. That is a driving factor. There's more to it. In my opinion, it is they are seeing how popular Lego is becoming. They are seeing how many sets they are producing, and I think they are starting to worry that they themselves are over flooding the market. In my opinion, Lego is increasing prices partly to introduce just a little bit more scarcity to the market, and I think they are constantly watching that. Now, we don't have all their data, or actually very little of their data, but I think they do try to be very careful about there being enough feeling of scarcity that consumers are like, ooh, I better get some things day one. Ooh, I missed out on some things. And that does help investors and the secondary market. And I think Lego knows that we are part of driving that allure and that scarcity feel that I want to be collecting this stuff, including the old ones, including the future ones that are coming out.
If you look at things like Nike shoes or Pokemon cards, these manufacturers know that a certain percentage of their sales are going to resellers. And so they're kind of in between a rock and a hard place, because if they crack down on that, their revenue goes down, which these public companies hate to see. You have to remember, these public companies are on a mandate basically to grow the stock price, increase the top line revenue, and increase the profits every year. For better or for worse, that's kind of their imperative. It's the world we live in. So it's a very money-driven motivation. Yep. And that's where it actually creates pockets of opportunity for we resellers to scoop things up on deep discount. This segues into my hot take, which is the price increases are going to be good for savvy Lego investors. You're going to see less growth from MSRP, yes, but you're going to see deeper discounting more frequently, potentially opportunities to get sets for 50% off or more. It's all about picking the right sets, right, that are undersupplied and over-demanded in their afterlife.
Going back to Kevin's point, we've heard from former Lego employees that they don't really care about Lego investors. What they really care about is people scalping new releases, a set going out of stock, and then them reselling it on another platform. So yeah, I really don't think Lego is out to get investors at all. They know it helps their bottom line for sure.
So the quick flips, and personally, I don't do quick flips for many reasons. I don't really feel comfortable with that ethically also. Whereas Lego investing is like anything I'm buying, everyone else has had the opportunity to buy, usually for over a year, sometimes for multiple years, usually on deep discount. I'm just buying it in month 23 of its existence.
When we invest in sets and hold them for a couple of years, we are providing a service. I've made this point before. I wish more people invested in the original Star Wars sets. Today, people like us and many, many thousands more other people would be able to go get new in-box original Star Wars sets for much cheaper than the 1,000% increase that they are today, right?
I use two concepts which tend to get it across well to people. The first is I tell people I'm building a library of future Lego sets for future enjoyers of the hobby to come back and to be able to physically hold these sets and purchase them if they want and build them, which is what they're meant for. Or I liken it to a wine cellar. Like I'm buying the 2021 vintage. I'm putting it away in a dark, cold place suitable to not damage the contents. And years later, I'm selling it now when it's rare and collectible. Same thing as wine. That's exactly what wine is. The rumor is that Lego will increase prices on almost all the summer sets in the US, including themes Marvel, Ninjago, down here Star Wars. So we have the Darth Maul mech going up 20% to $18. Not sure exactly what these sets are, but pretty much everything's moving up a good 5, 10, or 15%.
That last one is the MTT 75435.
Is that confirmed MTT, or is that the rumored clone vehicle? I know some folks said we were getting a turbo tank, but I just need to say, I told you so. UTAT was too good to be true. Everyone wrote roasted me for saying, why don't you believe the leaks? And I feel vindicated. Thank you very much.
I'll also note on the price increases, it's probably a hedge against the tariffs as well. They're prepping to see, like, there's a lot of uncertainty right now. Don't need to get into politics. They're bracing themselves for that impact.
There's certainly a lot of market uncertainty.
Because $18 for the Darth Maul mech is insane. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think their cost to produce is going up that much. It has to be additional tariffs that are impacting that.
And then if you add in their new pricing strategy of just higher MSRP and more frequent discounts, deeper discounts, it's sort of an interesting pricing model. It punishes day one purchases and it incentivizes waiting. They kind of made Lego sets during their shelf life a deflationary asset. Like, it benefits you to wait because it'll be cheaper later until it retires. And then, that reverses.
And I prefer that actually because it takes a little bit more work to get bottom prices, and those who do the work should reap the benefits from it. But were you saying that the UTAT is or is not coming?
I'm not going to comment on leaks anymore because it just changes before I can even publicize the information. I believe the UTAT is not a UTAT. I believe it's either a clone turbo tank at this point, or an MTT, or a Magneto Tridroid, or something else. Should be a Master Builder series at 160, a little miniature Master Builders, from 160 up to, like, for your Geonosis Arena to properly do it with 3 creatures, tons of Jedi, tons of battle droids. You could do a Geonosis battle pack that year to supplement it, all right, with a Geonosin in there.
$160 Master Builder Series set sounds like a large diorama, in my opinion.
It does.
But minifig scale, closer to a location-based play set with awesome features. The 160 slot is a little hard. Maybe like a Darth Maul duel, okay, with minifigures and those platforms and the red, lasers and shield doors. That sounds sick, first of all. That's at your low spot. At your high spot, like $400, you get your Geonosis Arena with the 3 creatures with tons of Jedi. Like I was saying, you launch a battle pack, it's a hit. Why don't they do this? My desktop. No, I can't do that.
I'll put that thing away.
Looking here at the LEGO Group's 2024 annual report, this is basically the most data all at once that they give us about their operation. So looking here, blah, blah, blah. Great job, everyone. Lots of good improvements. Letter from the CEO. Looking here down at the bottom left, we can see some financial metrics for the last 5 years from 2020. Look at this. Revenue compound annual growth rate, 14% year over year into 2024. And looking at the profits down here, same kind of thing, 10% CAGR growth. So they're growing. Moving on down here, board of directors, we have the Christensen family. Of course, this is like the 3rd or 4th generation for the LEGO Group. I think it's an 80-year-old company. It's getting close up to 100 years. The family relations here, I'm sure these are all very qualified people, wonderful individuals. If we look here, 4 of the 8 have only been at LEGO Group since 2020. So that just kind of tells you the mentality of the new management, the COVID era, like low interest rate, supply chain problems, just inflate like era. These are the people. You have your executive leadership team. I'm sure these are very qualified, wonderful people doing what's best for the company. So can't blame them for that. But looking here, it's pretty clear what they're doing with their prices is they're capturing the market. They know they have basically a monopoly on luxury niche building blocks. So yes, there are alternatives, but they're just not Lego. So they basically have a monopoly. And this is the point in the enshittification cycle where they've built the brand up so much with entertainment. They've increased the audience as much as they can. So now it's time to extract maximum profits. And I think that's where we are in the LEGO Group. And through their history, they've gone up, they've gone down. They've had a lot of twists and turns as a company. There's a really good book I would recommend about the whole history of the LEGO company. They flirted with bankruptcy. We all know the story of Bionicle. And
Twice flirted with bankruptcy.
I think it was 2004 where they really turned it around with LEGO Star Wars. 1999 was another big year. We're in extreme greed right now is what I'm trying to say. And eventually, if they continue to put out poor quality products at too high of a price, their brand does get damaged and their consumers will leave them. Hot take.
And I know we all know this here, but for everybody watching, Lego is still a family-owned company. So it's not publicly traded. They don't have to deal with investors and boards and all that kind of stuff, at least on a, public market.
Yeah, I'd buy stock if I could.
Absolutely. If they ever go public, I'm buying it day one.
I'll have to make that choice at that time.
So I don't think that's likely to happen anytime soon. Yeah, Thomas is the 4th generation family member that's heavily involved with the company. And if you look at history of companies, getting to the 4th generation is pretty rare, but definitely getting to the 5th or 6th generation would be a real feat.
My last hot take is that Amazon absolutely on purpose is getting loads of inventory throughout retirement. This lingering inventory is not a mistake. A lot of people are saying like, oh, it's just Lego is bad at, estimating their production and all that. I just disagree. And I have one example that I think just puts all conversations to bed. And it's based on the 75301 X-Wing that retired in 2023, the $50 one. That set lingered on almost the entire year of 2024. I counted, they sold at least 75,000 units in 2024, and that is no mistake. Lego can in no way be that bad at estimating demand and how much they should produce. That was definitely ordered by Amazon on purpose. They knew it was a hot seller that they could sell. That just is what it is. In some cases, I'm sure it's a mistake. They definitely have some that is not a mistake.
Yeah, Brian, here's this set, originally 50, today going for $82.79 on Amazon, 500 plus bought in the last month. At the top, we can see here that I purchased this in July of 2024, 7 months into its retirement, for a price of $35. And I recall when I bought at this price, 50,000 had been bought in the last month, largely at $35. So this is looking immensely profitable. I actually sold nearly all that I had. I think I had about 10 of these at that price. Bought 7 months into retirement for 30% off. I was able to sell those actually on Walmart for, I don't exactly know the ROI, but close to a doubling.
That is fascinating. Brian, great take, man. And great job bringing and doing that data analysis. I had no idea. I mean, I knew lots of zombie stock, and I maybe once or twice I heard somebody joke about how Amazon is the biggest Lego investor these days. But now that I see these results and see the data, I mean, we're competing with Amazon. So that creates a challenge. Those of us that record with DG know to tell DG a little earlier so that we, leave the buffer in.
Wow, thanks, guys.
If I were ever to go out with DG sometime and we need to leave at 6, I'd tell him 5:30 just to be safe.
All right, I'm going to just ignore that disrespect and just move on. Take the high road,
Of course, he won't be late because he's doing his hair.
He's doing his homework for BrickTalk, unlike someone.
Hey, that's true.
Yeah, one more set with huge Amazon zombie stock problems. The Horizon Forbidden Tall Wet. Wait, what am I even saying? The Horizon Tall Neck set. Here it is on Amazon. Keep in mind, green line is Amazon direct from Amazon, sold and shipped by Amazon. MSRP was 90. We can see here it's shifting in and out of stock, dropping on discount down to 75. Looks like the lowest ever was $53 back in 2023, right before the set retired. Looking here on BrickSet, yes, this set did indeed retire about a year and a half ago at the end of 23. What has it done since then? Well, it's done stuff on the secondary market, but look here just at Amazon before that. They have sold this set stair-stepping all the way up. This chart is not a glitch. This really has happened for $129 most recently. Now, if we add in the third-party sales, not much opportunity, right? Amazon prefers to sell via Amazon than to give a third party a piece of the pie. So this is a pretty crowded chart here. Looks like it's quickly switching between Amazon and third party. But in any case, Amazon is definitely knowing what they're doing with pallets and pallets of these set aside for, 18 months into retirement so far, 16 months.
So not only is Amazon selling basically as a secondary market reseller, but they're also increasing their MSRP price, basically tracking what the second party sales demand is going to be. That's crazy. That's wild.
I will say, though, if Amazon's going to have lingering stock, I'd rather they go up in price rather than MSRP or below, because at least we can undercut them and get an inflated price above MSRP. That's the least they could do.
Totally agree. And at least we can see the price history, right? That'll give us data for us if we're still holding on to those sets for Amazon to eventually sell out. We at least got a gauge on hey, demand is going up.
I mean, all zombie stock sets have eventually sold out. The ATST Raider may have taken, a year or two. Certain sets may take 2-3 years, but eventually it happens.
There's like one Lego Movie 2 set in stock from Barnes & Noble still. I think it's like 5-6 years retired.
I've seen it. I think it's a medium spicy take, but it is getting more obvious as time goes on and more people are waking up to this fact that Amazon is now Lego investing. So it's about a 7 out of 10 spicy. Kevin?
I think it's pretty spicy. I'm going 8 or 9 out of 10.
Leave your comment down below. Is this the spiciest take of the day? We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Kevin won.
Dioramas.
All right, so now it's time for good set, bad set. Let's get into it.
All right, guys, my good set, bad set is this Shadow the Hedgehog, $70. Came out October last year, expect to retire at the end of this year. I actually don't know if it's good set, bad set. Even after I do the research, I still am having trouble deciding, but I just have a hunch that Brian has some pretty good opinions on this. And so since Brian is our special guest today, I cede my time over to Brian. I brought it up and I want to know what Brian thinks, and that's what I'm going with.
Wow, I had no idea you were going to bring this up, so this is on the spot. The biggest reason that it is a bit of a guessing game for me is that it doesn't have an Amazon listing, so we cannot see Keepa data, can't see demand, can't see how many sellers there are, anything like that. There's no charts, so it is only on Walmart. It's only on eBay. There are Keepa equivalents for Walmart, but they're expensive and not quite as good, so I can't really see that data. But I think this is hugely slept on. People are letting their personal bias take over and say, oh, this set doesn't look good. That doesn't matter. We're going to have another Sonic movie. This seems like an exact replica of what Lego did with the Marvel Marvel helmets or Marvel busts with Carnage as a Target exclusive, then Venom as a widely available set, then now Spider-Man as a Target exclusive. I could see this happening again here. They could put Tails out as a widely available set, and then the year after, they could have Sonic as a Target exclusive again. It could be an exact replica of that model, and people are very short-sighted and thinking that, oh, it doesn't look good. But if there's continued collectability here, and there's a Marvel movie, another Sonic movie coming out in 2026 or 2027, within a year and a half of the set retiring, this could be an absolute amazing set. But it does worry me that we don't have an Amazon listing for a lot of liquidity and demand to get soaked up there. And if enough people buy it and sell only on Walmart, I could see it being a little oversupplied. So that's a bit of an unknown there.
Yeah, I have seen this set 30% off. Go for $48.99 at Target. And then if you can stack discounted gift cards or a red card discount on top of that, you're doing pretty good.
Target's been having a lot of sales recently. Earlier in the year, deeper discounts. It makes me very excited for sales later in the year.
Invisible Hand at 30. I'm waiting.
Yes. So question for you, Brian. Do you think there are enough well-known popular Sonic characters to have enough in this sub-theme to really drive the collectability? You know, we all know about Shadow, Sonic, and Tails.
We could do Knuckles as well. I think four is enough, honestly.
You could do Eggman.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Eggman on a pike would be awesome.
Yeah, I think that's enough.
Now, we haven't heard any rumors yet. Who knows? I know when this originally came out, it was a little unsettling, but the more that I've looked at it, I actually think that it being on this stand is not terrible. The face is pretty good. You know, I know it's a little bigger than the faces that Lego struggles with, but the angle and the shaping of the eye is pretty good. The mouth, the nose, I think there's some pretty good character and some pretty good life in this bust. If they could do the others of same quality and we can all get over the fact that it is on this very narrow stand, I might actually like them. And I do not collect the Star Wars helmets and I do not collect the Marvel busts. This might be the first of this style that I would actually like in my personal collection.
One counterpoint to my argument is that if there is no continued collectability and this is the only one that they release and it becomes like the buildable Harry and Hermione figures that were Target exclusives and they're like, and this set's constantly 40% off, then that's a totally different scenario and I won't be nearly as high on it. So it is a little a bit of a bet to say that they're going to have continued collectability there. So we don't know for sure, and it could let us down if there's not another one in this line.
Yeah, I do collect the Star Wars helmets, and I did sleep on the Marvel first couple of gauntlets, or the Nano gauntlet, the red one that did retire. Of course, the gold one I think is scheduled to retire. So personally, I'm not much of a Marvel guy. I'm a lot more of a Star Wars guy. I have some helmets up there. But it's pretty obvious looking at some things like Marvel, the Thor's hammer, and the Captain America's shield. Those are maybe larger comps, but things like the Nano gauntlet, things like the Star Wars helmets. Wolverine Claw also did amazing. That's already going up to like $110 on Amazon or more. Last year, you had the Star-Lord helmet going for $80 MSRP. That's already up to $100. So the lack of an Amazon listing does concern me on Shadow, but with the collectability, I'm pretty high on this set.
I just knew that there was more than just the surface with this one, and it is worth the look.
All right, for those of you who stuck around to the end, I am about to blow your head off with a crazy, crazy set. This is the Creator 3-in-1 31139 Cozy House, $60 MSRP. We can see here on BrickSet, launched in March of 23, and it's retiring in July, yes, July of 2025. We can see here on the Brick Fanatics retirement list. Now, what's so special about this set? 800 parts for $60, pretty decent. Let's see, we have the B and C builds. Those look okay, but what is so special about this? So years ago, on the very second episode of this podcast, Kevin brought, for a good set, bad set, the Family House and Electric Car. This city set, available for the last 6 months of 2023. Here's this set's listing on Amazon. $60 MSRP, went as low as $45 here. So only ever discounted 25%, 6 months shelf life. What's it done since then? It's absolutely gone to the moon. Sold as high as $145, most recently coming down to $139.99. Over double the MSRP, just 16 months from retirement. So looking here at this year's Cozy House, retiring in July, current price is $38. That's 37% off. When it's been out of stock, it's sold as high as $87. So I'm sorry to all the Lego investing gurus out here. I have just revealed the best set of the year, and I think this is going to be a banger of an investment.
I'd say that's a pretty bold claim. I think the comp is a little different situation. It was a very short 6 months shelf life for the Family House and Electric Car. It was very low supply. I remember seeing that set, like even on eBay, it was below 40 sellers at the time, and it only saw that 25% off discount, like anywhere. That was the lowest price. So it's a little bit of a different scenario, I'd say. Very short shelf life, not discounted. This other set has had, what was it, a 2-year shelf life or so?
Two years, 8 months.
It's seeing a very significant sale, and it's been $37.99 for a couple days now. It's went from 1,000 sold to 2,000 sold, so at least 1,000 units have been bought at that price.
But never before has has it been so cheap?
Very true. Very true. So if this is the only deep sale for it and it goes back up to MSRP soon and goes out of stock in July, this could be really good. But I think it might be a foreshadowing of future deeper discounts till July. And also my anecdotal evidence, I don't have factual evidence on this, but like mini July retirements have crazy lingering inventory. It might stay in stock quite a bit longer. But yeah, it could do well. I see a situation in which it does well, but the lingering inventory scares me. Deep discounts scare me. But I used to be really high on this set, actually. It was never more than 20% off until this recent sale. It was consistently selling 1,000 units a month at 20% off. It did really well over Q4, so it has really good numbers. It's one of the best demand sets retiring in July, besides like the Bowser's muscle car. Might be a good set there. So yeah, I could see it going any way. Either way, I'd say mid-set.
Mid-set?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if this set has lingering inventory into deep discount Black Friday season. I think it retiring in July may save it from those deep discounts if there's no long multi-month zombie stock and this truly dries up in August or September. I think it could easily go 20% over MSRP, would take it from 60 up to, 25% up to $75. If I got it at 38, that is almost a doubling, $1 short of doubling before taxes and fees. And after I pay my fees, I'm very profitable already. Just at 25% up from MSRP.
Totally. Yeah, it'll definitely be profitable. It just depends on your strategy there.
I mean, we don't allow fence riding around here. Brian, good set or bad set, my man?
I'll go good set. I'll go.
Let's
I'll
go.
with you.
Both wrong. You're both wrong. Bring up the pictures. Let's go. DG, this is your spiciest take of the episode. All right, guys. Now look at this cozy house. And DG, go to the other one. And just let's look at the other one too. So just put these two images in your mind. What's two big differences on these sets? You probably won't figure out, so I'll just tell you. Number one, this set connects in with the new roadway system. I know it's not everybody's roadway system, but it does connect in. So it's going to be nice and flush, smooth edges here. Looks great with your new city that people are building with the newer roadway plates.
I don't know. I feel like all the adults I talk to are building on Mills plates and not using road plates, but go on.
Also, the roof on this set looks like a real roof. Go back to the other one, DG. Look at this roof. It's like droopy. What kind of roof is that? That doesn't, I guess it does exist somewhere, but that doesn't look nice. Who would want this in their city?
What do you think about the B model roof? I like this roof.
That one's actually a lot better. Either way, bad set. But DG, you've heard me say this before. There are very few sets I won't be interested in picking up at 50% off. So if this one does have that good discount, I wouldn't go in yet on the discount that you just showed us. Maybe if there was another flash of an even deeper discount, then maybe, but nope, these two do not compare for me.
I mean, I'm not backing up the truck at just a 37% discount, but I'm definitely picking up my limit of 3 of the cozy house. We're just going to have to see how this take ages, much like your diorama take, Kevin.
My good set, bad set is 76962 Baby Bumpy Ankylosaurus. I think I nailed that. $25 MSRP. See here, it was released in June of 2024, so it's a year and a half shelf life here. You could talk about how cute it is. It looks great. It doesn't really matter what I think about it. This set sold 20,000 units over Q4 on Amazon at only 20% off. It rarely goes on sale, and it always sells 1,000 units a month outside of Q4. Everything about that is amazing. Great price point, shelf life, demand numbers, very low supply. I think it's around 20 sellers right now. We saw recently there's a new set in this like baby dinosaur line coming out, 76970 Baby Dinosaur Dolores Oculops. Yep, there it is right there. It also has a $3 higher MSRP, so a little built-in appreciation, perceived value there. And yeah, I think this checks all the boxes for me to buy as an investment at the right price. What do y'all think?
Lego dinosaurs in this easy-to-approach building style under Jurassic World theme, slam dunk, 20K a month sold. I'm totally sold. We could also note that the Creator 3-in-1 Mighty Dinosaur has been out since 2017, is finally scheduled to retire at the end of 2025. That will bring its 8-year shelf life to an end, but this set has been kept around so long because it's such a hot seller. There's so much demand from casual buyers on Amazon typing in Lego dinosaur. Just as the Baby Bumpy Ankylosaurus is going away, this perfectly coincides with a sore void in the market of Lego dinosaur sets, and I think Baby Bumpy could end up on the moon.
Tell us it's a bad set, Kevin.
I can't do that. I generally agree. I have glossed over in my previous videos, though. And similar to you, Brian, I started paying a little closer attention. And in future videos, when it comes up in my mentions and e-score tables, I'm going to have a brighter outlook on it. But I do have one question, possible concern. How many are they going to make? If there's only one or two, is this a series that we need more than just two? And maybe Lego will end up making 4 or 5. And
it has collectability. That's what we want. Even if it doesn't have collectability, it just the fact that it captures the SEO Lego dinosaur is already making it a winner. And it has collectability.
Are we going to have these 2 little baby dinosaur, brick-built dinosaurs come and go with people kind of forgetting about them? I think it's unlikely, but that would be my concern. But yeah, overall, I'm with you guys. Good set.
I think that concern matters depending on your investing strategy and hold time. If you're only going to hold for a year and a half, that new set is still going to be on shelves, so it'll have that continued collectability. If you're going to hold for 5 years, maybe those are the only 2 sets, both are retired, and people forget about them. As David said, I think it is still safe because searching for Lego dinosaurs on Amazon is still very common.
Let's put it to the test. Yeah, searching here for Lego dinosaur. So we have our cheap dinosaur set closer to the Baby Bumpy price point, selling 20 times as much as this $60 set. Baby Bumpy there for just about 15% off. Of course, you have the Ideas dinosaur skulls. So 3.5 years after it's retired, this Ideas dinosaur fossils is selling for over double its retail, 50 plus a month.
I totally missed in my analysis that we have 3 of these sets. Little Edie T-Rex right next to Little Bumpy is also in this line. So we have 3 already.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that too.
Kevin's argument is bunk as usual. It gets thrown out.
And that's full price, $25, 900 plus.
So even this garbage set that went on deep clearance everywhere, this Jurassic World Baryonyx dinosaur boat Escape, 100 plus bought in a month. That's really surprising for, I believe this is now $10 over MSRP. Never saw that coming. Lego dinosaurs are evergreen and they're huge. Apparently, this Jurassic World set from like 2.5 years retired, still selling 50 plus a month for just this mid play set. BrickEconomy is only 50 plus in the last month, having just retired 4 months ago.
But what's the price on it?
The price is so surprising.
$93.54.
Anybody want to guess how many of those I bought at $40, 50% off?
How many?
15 of them.
15.
Heck yeah.
All right, well, that is going to do it today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you to Brian from Brick Domain for coming on the show again.
Absolutely. Thanks, DJ and Kevin, for having me on. Always a great time. Love to do it again.
We definitely will. Yeah, man, it is great talking to you. We all have different perspectives. What I love about this group is that, we do think thoroughly about this stuff most of the time, but
when you do your homework.
When I get a chance to do my homework. I've been busy at work lately, man. Yeah, I always learn a ton talking to you guys, and I mean that sincerely. You guys always bring some really good, unique thought to the table, and I love it.
Ditto.
All right, now that Kevin has thoroughly glazed everyone, I think we can do the outro.
Thanks, everybody, for watching. Drop a comment below. We'd love to interact and hear what your thoughts were. If you disagree, agree. Love to have a little debate in the comments with y'all.
All right, guys, that's it. Great episode. Everybody, don't forget to subscribe to Brian's channel, Brick Domain. Don't forget to subscribe to DG Bricks, and we'll see you all in future podcasts.
Subscribe to Kevin, too, if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, everybody. Peace out.